Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Offside Bets, courtesy of Offside and Out of Bounds. Welcome back. This is the final breakdown region for our bracket. We've covered the East, we've covered the South, covered the Midwest yesterday, and today I think we're looking at the best bracket. We're looking at the West region bracket. This is going to be the one with some showstoppers, I'm sure. We want to thank you for joining us today. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. We will be going live all the time, basically. Before we jump right into it, I just want to let everybody know our NCAA bracket pool at picks.cbssports.com. You'll see in the ticker below. Pool name Offside Bets, and the password is Offside Bets 1, all in lowercase. So for everybody here, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Okay, Junior, welcome back. We're wrapping up our bracket breakdown here. We got the lovely West region, which looks, jam-packed. Certainly one undefeated team in here that's poised to do very, very well in this tournament. So why don't we just jump right into it? So the baseline here. Here we have a play-in. So one of these play-ins is happening tomorrow. It's Norfolk State versus Appalachian State. This game is happening tomorrow on the play-in tournament. We have the spread at -3.5 for Appalachian State, and the winner of this game is going to go on to face the Gonzaga Bulldogs, that elite team with that perfect record of 26-0. Who do you like on the play-in game for tomorrow?
Both of these teams have had a decent season, scoring more on Norfolk's side and then defense more for App State. But I mean, I can dig down deep and give you every angle on this game, but it doesn't really matter. The winner of this game is going to be a sacrificial lamb for Gonzaga. The spread's going to open at 30. It's probably going to go higher, and they're going to cover, and it's just. But I do like Norfolk.
Okay.
So if I had a gun to my head and I was forced to take a pick, I'd probably go Norfolk.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned them being a sacrificial lamb. I think that's 100% accurate. Gonzaga scoring over 92 points a game and only giving up 69 points. Whoever Gonzaga is going to play out of these two teams is going to get beat by 20 plus points, most likely. The over-under's at 133.5. Between these two teams, what do you think that's going to happen there?
I think if App State's going to control the pace of the game, then I think this is it's going to be a low score, 68-65. So you're still getting the over hitting there at 133. Actually, you're pushing there. So if App State controls, it's going to go under. If Norfolk takes the pace, then it'll go over. But since I like Norfolk to win that game, that's going to assume that they're going to hit the pace and the numbers. So because I'm taking Norfolk, I'll take the over.
Okay. Yeah, Gonzaga is going to definitely beat that team, and that'll be a fun game to watch and see what Gonzaga is capable of. Let's see who we got next here. So we have the number 8 Oklahoma Sooners, record 15-10. Points for is 74, and points against 69. Against the number 9 Missouri Tigers, 16-9 record, 73 points for, and giving up 71 points. These 8-9 matchups, we've talked about them before. The Nines tend to win these games 514% of the time. Do we have a little bit of an upset happening here? The spread's at -2 for Oklahoma. Not surprised here.
No, and I'll be clear. I had this Missouri game already circled as an upset before the news that Devion Harmon is out because of COVID testing. Now, the Sooners do come out of one of the toughest conferences in the nation, and they're definitely battle-tested. But it makes me wonder why the spread is so low. And I think it's more to do with Missouri than it is with Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. The AP does not give a lot of love to Missouri, and I don't know why they've done this to them. But they've got better AP wins, better quad wins than a lot of the teams that are given higher seeds than them. The way I look at Missouri is they're a 4 seed and 9 seed close. A lot of people are already dismissing them, writing them off. Yeah. But everyone down there in Columbia, Missouri, I'm not writing you off, and I've got them not just to cover the spread, but to move forward. So give me Missouri to cover.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna jump on this one too. I think the Tigers going to beat with the news and that COVID, not being able to play for Oklahoma. I definitely see the Tigers pushing through here. We have the over/under at 141. Is this game going to kind of fall right around that number?
Well, I think when you take Missouri, who have Pinson, Smith, and Tillman, they're going to cause a lot of issues, on the Oklahoma scoring side. But the Sooners are going to score. I think this is going to be a real loose game, and I can definitely see the total. It's tough at 141. I mean, these teams are right around there, like you said, season averages. But it's tournament time, and I think Oklahoma's going to be pressing a lot because they're going to be behind. But I like the pace both teams bring. So give me the over. Why not?
Okay. So moving on, these 12-5s, we've had a couple of horn honks here. I wonder if Cinderella's going to be sleeping or not, but let's take a quick look here. So we have the number 12 seed, UC Santa Barbara, 22-4. Points for are 73, almost 74 points, and then we have them giving up about 63 points. Then we got the Creighton Blue Jays. Obviously, I'm a big fan. 20-8. Points 477, and the opposing points 68. We've got the spread at -7.5 for the Blue Jays. Is Cinderella sleeping or is she waking up?
She didn't even get out of bed.
Okay.
Now listen, the coaches had a great year. They ran away with the Big West, but their plate wasn't really filled with a lot of AP games or AP teams, or even a lot of top 50 teams. So they don't have enough on that plate for me to really gauge how battle-tested they really are. They got a nice player in McLaughlin. He's a transfer from Oregon State. But again, a lack of that quality schedule is, I think it's just it's not enough for me to go on. And excuse me, Creighton is a team to definitely be on the lookout for, and I think there's a lot of teams that are hoping they don't cross paths with them.
Yeah,
they're 7-3 against those quad one, so those are high-ranked AP teams. All their 5 stars are averaging in double figures, so it's tough to figure out where to attack this offense, from a defensive perspective. Yeah. So it's like you hit one guy, but this is they spread the ball so well that you key on one guy and they're just going to get it around you. Now it's not to say that Creighton's not primed for upset. They did get steamrolled by Georgetown and during Champ Week. Now I can see UC hanging around for a while, but I think the constant ball movement is just going to tire them out, put them in a daze, and I definitely like Creighton to cover this.
It's interesting here. I'm looking at some of the notes that we have, and UC Santa Barbara is actually more favored to win this tournament than Creighton. That's a very interesting point, considering what the spread is. Yeah. That must be because they turned it on kind of in that week, and they looked good. But I have the Blue Jays going through here. I think you're 100% right. I don't think Cinderella is going to be waking up anytime soon. And we have the over/under this game, 138. These teams can score, but what do you think?
I actually dropped to 131, so I'll take the over.
Okay, yeah, that's even better.
Lines are moving.
Okay, awesome. All right, so moving along here, we have the number 13 seed Ohio Bobcats, versus the number 4 seed Virginia Cavaliers. For Ohio, 16-7 record, 80 points for, giving up 73. And then on the Virginia side of things, the 4 seed, 18-6, points for 68, and points against 60. They are the favored at -7. What do you think about this game here? Whoa! I think I have a sound issue here. I swear I heard some ringing in my ear.
Oh, there was a horn, and I don't know if it's a St. Patty's thing with the green.
I was going to say, have you been drinking anything green lately?
No, I don't drink any beer.
Okay.
But I'm really feeling Ohio. I think this is a really good spot for them. They hung in with Illinois earlier this year, lost them by 2. I think it was 77-75. That's a quad 1 team losing by 2, and the Cavaliers had to withdraw from the ACC tournament due to the COVID regulations, and they haven't played in about a week and a half.
Yeah,
that layoff is going to be detrimental to that team. You can't practice, you can't play. It's going to hurt them in this spot, and Ohio ran through the MAC tournament shooting over 50% from the field. That's including 3.
Wow. In
some games. They're just scoring, like their scoring rate is so high right now that it's just, for me, they're chugging along, and I think the layoff's just going to hurt Virginia way too much for this to be a game that they're going to control by 7.5 points. So
there's nothing worse than stopping that train, right? It's much harder to get going. And, the Bobcats may be peaking at the right time. I'm still blown away. I have Virginia in this matchup, but you'll be looked at very well. It will bode well for you if that does turn out. I think Cinderella might have had a heart attack rather than woke up. But let's see what happens. Yeah. We got the over/under on this game at 131. These teams have the ability to score, but what do you think here?
Virginia's going to have to score to stay there with Ohio, and Ohio's going to score 80 points. I think that layoff, there's going to be a lot of rust, so I'm looking for this to be a pretty high scoring game, 150, 155.
Okay, well that's a great lock in then at 131 right now. Get your bets in now. Awesome. Before we move on to the next one, I just want to remind everybody to join our bracket pool at picks.cbssports.com. Okay, the pool name is Offside Bets, and the password is Offside Bets 1, all lowercase. So please join that pool. You'll be able to see our bracket picks officially outside of our spread analysis here. And we're going to jump right back in here with the number 11 seed, Wichita State. Okay, the Shockers against number 6 USC Trojans. Very, very solid team. Just breaking these down here, we got the 16-5 record for Wichita, 71 plus points, and the against is 69. And then USC Trojans, 22-7, points for 74, and giving up about 64. Spread on this game is -1 Wichita. I feel like Cinderella's waking up again.
Well, Wichita's going to have to get through Drake first, and.
Oh, yes, my apologies. Sorry, Drake is here. Yeah, sorry, this is a playing game. My apologies here. They got 25-4 for Drake, the 11th, and then, Wichita is -1 on that game.
And I think that's one of those spreads that it's a trap just because Wichita's got that name. For me personally, it's tough to take the Shockers to get past Drake. I love the program. They've turned out some really quality NBAers. But I think this was an off year for them and their program. A lot of teams are dealing with the effects of what's gone on the entire year, but I just think that Drake is on a better kind of level field right now, and they're really moving along. And if I'm going to take an upset, out of that 11 seed spot, I would want the best team to be in that spot to upset that 6 seed. And I just don't think Wichita's got what it takes to hang with USC, where I think Drake might have enough in that tank and enough of a rotation to keep it close for a while. And you keep it close, anything can happen at the end of the day. But USC's had a strong year on both ends of the floor. And I definitely feel, regardless of who comes through, it's going to be a tough game for either of those teams. Again, like I said, I think Drake comes through. The pace of the play is going to be a lot better. If Wichita comes through, the pace is going to slow down again a bit. But we're either going to have a blowout game where there's a ton of points scored, or we're going to have a defensive kind of battle. So either way, the outcome of this 11-6 is going to be a great game.
Okay. And would you have USC moving on with the winner of Wichita State and Drake then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah, fair enough. I'd be curious to see what the spread comes in at on that game. Any projections at all?
You're probably going to see USC in that -6 to -8.5 range, and then the over on that game. If Drake comes through, it's going to be a bit higher, probably 140, 141.
Okay.
If Wichita State comes through, then it'll probably be 138, 139, kind of in that area.
Okay. Well, that'll be happening tomorrow, so we'll follow that game closely. If we look over here, now we got the 14th seed Eastern Washington Hawks. Okay, record is 16-7, 78 points for, 70. They're giving up 70 on that end. And then you got Kansas, 20-8, 72-4, and giving up 66 points. Got Kansas as a pretty heavy favorite here, 10.5. The favorite. What do you think about this game here? This has got to be due to some of that COVID, right?
Yeah. Again, this is they weren't in the conference tournament, and it was cut short due to the COVID health protocols. But their offense wasn't even humming then. Now coming back in here, they're going to be shorthanded. So I think being shorthanded, the layoff from the protocols, it's going to hurt them a lot. I still think that they shouldn't have come if they're not going to bring a full team with them. But again, the NCAA is going to have their rules, and they need to get the tournament going. But then it's hard to get another team to kind of step in their place, and then the seeding's all messed up. So I get it. But Eastern Washington, they're a high-scoring offense, heavy pace. It's helped them all year, and this is the team that covers the spread, 15-7 against the spread this year.
Yeah,
and they got a couple of nice guards in Anna Ford, Groves. He's
just over 16 points, 8 rebounds.
Yeah, and he's playing really well coming into the tournament. So, I'm still comfortable taking Eastern Washington, regardless of that 10.5 point spread.
So you have them winning the game, and also covering on the spread there. Okay. I think this is our biggest upset yet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we've had a 14-3.
Maybe Winthrop. I think that was another 14.
Was it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Over under here at 146. It's kind of high.
It is, but you're talking about two teams that are averaging low 70s to high 70s. Take the average of it's 150, so it can get there. But there's also a fact that it might not get there. If Kansas is not going to score, and a couple of the guys they lose with the cogs in their offense, then if they don't get humming, then they're not going to score. So there's a strong chance that this could go under. I hope that Kansas comes to play and we get a nice, entertaining game. But I think I'm comfortable taking the under in this.
Okay. Yeah, Kansas is a historic franchise, and unfortunately, due to those health protocols, just won't be the same team we've seen in years past, right?
Definitely.
Okay, moving on here. The number 10 seeded VCU Rams record is 19-7, points 471, and we have them giving up 65 against the Oregon Ducks. 20-6, 74 points for, and giving up 67 points. The spread on this game is -5.5 for the Oregon Ducks. What are your thoughts on the Ducks versus the Rams here?
I think there's a lot of people in their brackets that are taking VCU here, primarily because they're a defense-first team. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know how many times everyone said it, but defensive teams win championships, and it's true. They're in the top 10 for steals, turnovers, and they're ranked a little bit higher for effective field goal percentage. I think at about 20. And I think Oregon, they're coming out of the Pac-12 tournament where they lost in the title game to Oregon State, and that can sting, and sometimes that can have that carryover effect. But they were prone to that upset. They weren't playing as well as they should have been. Now, okay, they are susceptible to that upset game, but the Ducks have 5 guys that are scoring in double figures. They got a sharpshooter shooting 44% from distance, and Duarte. I can't see it, so I'll stamp it, lock it, 5.5 Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, when you got that many guys scoring in double digits, it's really tough for any opposing team to really get over that hump. So we got the over/under here at 137. Do you see this game going above that?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring first half. You'll
Okay.
probably see them, low 30s, mid 30s, just to feel each other out. But Oregon's a team that can put up 40 in the second half of the issue. So, and if ECU is going to stick around with them, they're going to have to score. So, I'll take the over in this.
Okay, awesome. Should be an interesting game. And we got the last one on the lineup here. Okay, so the number 15 Grand Canyon Lopes, record 17-6, scoring 71 and giving up 61 points against the Iowa Hawkeyes, 21-8. They're putting up 83 plus points a game and giving up just under 72. They are the heavy favorites in this game with a minus 14.5 point spread. Iowa's a great team. Luka Garza, almost 24 points a game. Very, very active. Does Grand Canyon stand a chance in this game?
And I think this is sentiment that a lot of people are carrying out there is that this is just going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
But this game's going to be closer than a lot of people think.
Okay. Tell us why.
Canyon's going to stick around with Iowa like a bad smell. Iowa likes pace. Canyon likes to slow you down. Whoever gives in first is going to definitely dictate who ends up winning the game. But we saw Iowa get controlled by Illinois like about 5 days ago. Slowed them down during Champ Week, and if Canyon staff can figure out what Illinois was doing to slow down Iowa, then they're going to be planned up for them. Mm-hmm. Now, Iowa's hopes, it all runs through Garza, but if they're going to win this game, they got to put Canyon away early because they're going to run Garza. Like you said, he's averaging almost 24 and 9. So he's got to get it on. But the only issue that I see in this game is Iowa's strength is Garza. But Canyon is going to run a 7-footer, the Big Dane, Asbjorn Midtgaard, at 14 and 10. And then they also have another guy, Alessandro Lever, a 6'10" Italian, averaging 13 and 5. So they're going to clog that middle up. I don't know if Garza's going to get the quality chances in front of the basket that a lot of people think he's going to.
Yeah.
So I think that Canyon's going to definitely disrupt that flow of their offense and slow that pace down. How much? I don't know. Is it going to be 14.5 points worth of slowdown? I don't know. But the more and more I look at this game and the more and more I talk about it, I want to hit my buzzer. It's because I like that Iowa's strength is Canyon's strength.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great game. I think Iowa will win, but I'll take Canyon to cover the 14.5 points. That way I'm set on both sides.
Yeah, you know what? We've talked about this before. Rebounding teams win basketball games, right? So if you got a couple of big guys on Grand Canyon's side that are able to, clog up that middle and maybe pick up some extra boards and maybe cut Garza off of getting some of those rebounds as well. That could bode very well for them. So that'll be very interesting. We've got the over-under at 145 on this game. This game can definitely get up there. What do you think here?
I think because it's going to get slowed down, that I think it's going to go under.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay, awesome. Well, that wrapped up the West for us, which is a very great bracket to kind of review here. So we got the playing games tomorrow, and then Friday the actual tournament kicks off with 64, and Saturday we're going to be back Saturday night to break down Friday's games and what that looks like, and the following night to break down Saturday's games. I'm going to remind everybody, picks.cbssports.com. Offside Bets is the pool name. Offside Bets 1, lowercase, is the password. Overall, I think we have a really interesting tournament here. Are there any final thoughts, Junior?
Yeah, just because we finally came to the West and kind of touched on Gonzaga, I wanted to talk about them a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Undefeated season, 26-0. They beat Kansas by 12. They beat Auburn by 23. They beat West Virginia by 5. They beat Iowa by 11. They beat Virginia by 23. They beat BYU 3 times this year. Try to find something that's going to be a chink in this team's armor. I think everyone is picking them to win the Final Four except for Shaq, because he picks LSU every year, no matter what seed they're in.
I don't think they're getting there.
Alma mater, but Shaq, if you watch, they're not going, brother. So get on the side of the Bulldogs, because that's the team that I think, even from like the first 3 weeks of the season watching them, that this is going to be that team that I think is going to be there at the Final Four in the championship game. Their offense, they put up so many points, and their defense is good. So yeah, I'm liking Gonzaga, so I just wanted to touch a bit more about them.
I think we touched on this off air the other day when we were chatting about Gonzaga, saying the undefeated record. It doesn't look like any team has ever won the championship that had an undefeated record, and it seems like Larry Bird, I believe it was Indiana, they went to the finals with an undefeated record, but they didn't win.
No.
So this is the first opportunity they've had to go all the way to the finals and win with an undefeated record. So this could be, a real historic moment for that program. And we were also talking about kind of when, the Zags first kind of hit the scene way back when, I believe it was in the 90s, late 90s there, when they had that little Cinderella story. So it'd be nice to see the culmination of this program come all the way to an undefeated season by hoisting a nice little trophy there.
Yeah. So there's actually 7 teams that I'll ring them
that
up.
won in an undefeated season?
Undefeated season.
Wow. Okay.
55-56 San Francisco. 56-57
Wow.
North Carolina. 63-64 UCLA. Then 67 UCLA. 72 UCLA. 73 UCLA. And then Indiana.
I believe they have the most championships too, don't they?
Yeah. And then Indiana did it in 76. So it hasn't been done in over 40 years.
Okay, so maybe that's what I had heard then. That's interesting, eh?
Yeah.
Well, they score the most points, I think, based on all of our breakdowns that we saw points for. I don't think anybody really scores more points than they do, so.
Oh, sorry, I'm incorrect. The last team to do it was the 64 UCLA Bruins.
So only one team?
Only one team. No,
wow.
57 North Carolina did it.
Okay.
But those are the only teams that have had a perfect season and won the tournament.
Oh, wow. So it's been quite some time.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that the Zags can do it this year, because I would love to see that. You kind of really like that. I love rooting for the underdogs, no pun intended, but to see a team that has such a great season like that with such a great program, it'd be nice to kind of have that all come together at the very, very end of this tournament here. So everything kicks off tomorrow with the play-ins. Yeah.
Well, actually, I think we have 2 that are complete right now. Richmond beat Toledo by 10. And Western Kentucky is up by 1 over St. Mary's with about 7.5 minutes left in the first half.
Nice.
But it's funny to see where the Zags came from. 20 years. They start their recruiting in Western Canada, and their program just explodes. And they get the right coach in there and the right system going, and look at where they are now. So
I wonder if they're partly responsible for the Canadians that are ending up in the NBA now, with that recruiting program, because
they could be.
Well, it took a long time to get some Canadians in there. Just a little bit, right? 2-time MVP.
It helps.
Well, awesome. Well, looking forward to it, and we'll be back Saturday night to break down some of the info for everybody. So for everybody here at Offside Bets and Offside and Out of Bounds, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior.
See you real soon.